Yo, what is good, my anime people? What is good? So we are finally getting a very good look at the intelligence and sneakiness of our main character, which I don't know why the trader would be so trusting in these situations. If I'm him, I'm putting that hearing device on the girl even in these games, even though, sure, I guess he thought he would be by her all the time to hear anything that was being talked about. But for them all to pull what they did this week's episode, it feels like there had to have been another way that he did it. And maybe he even did it with, you know, just putting his finger up to his mouth and saying, shh. Overall, though, this was a sight to behold. To see these characters in a position where not only are they being tested by, a big audience who wants to have fun, they're being tested by each other. And the test was kind of harmless by one another, but the one who was truly going after them was this traitor, the one who not only signed them up for this, right? Because that's the only way that this could come to pass, but also the way information was being given out so willy nilly, and the people who would try to defend themselves being shunned as soon as possible by a certain somebody, right? There was a lot of red flags that were pointing towards one of these characters mainly being it, but at the same time, the situation doesn't feel all that dire, so it doesn't feel like the students themselves are in like a oh my god we're gonna die situation where they're just doing stuff outright out of like emotion, and they're just like terrified of sooner or later they're gonna die. I guess being in debt with such a large sum amount of number is kind of dying, and technically, right? Like you're gonna be doing whatever it is that they offer you to do to pay up your debt, or you're gonna be working for the rest of your life to pay off the debt. So I don't really. Maybe I'm wrong on that. Maybe they do feel a little bit like death is on the line, right? But even when he says, "Once you reach the goal and you step off that stage, you won't die," So I think it's more or less the debt itself and knowing how like hard it is to deal with money or to even earn money at their age is. So we'll have to see exactly where that whole mindset is coming from. But yeah, this was a pretty awesome amount of stuff to see in this week's episode. Not only did they flush out the rat in a more interesting way than I thought they were going to, by not only having uh, waited pretty much for the last possible second so things would work out much better, but also seeing everybody kind of show their colors, right? Like everybody was willing to do something negative once they felt like their backs were on the wall, or that they were alone, or that they already been attacked by the other. All it takes is somebody to do something to you, and to then see what your reaction is pretty much what this game is all about. And because our main character is the way he is, and he's not giving him that initial reaction to see, it's what is, painfully obvious that he can't be the traitor, just by the way he wants everything to stay the way that they are. And unfortunately, that can't happen because certain people want certain things, and it becomes very obvious once you continuously try to push people away and there isn't a reason to, outside of whatever the reason you have that you're not sharing, right? So to pretty much have everybody right, we are the reason why. I am the reason that we are in the game was a good way to say, to find out who the liar was. And because someone in that, out of all of them, had to have told him the truth, because that's the only way that this happens. So uh, Glasses Boy was going to use that opportunity to then start crying and being all sad about, oh yeah, they blackmailed me to do this and that, and he just wanted them to go off of his greed or his crying and whatnot. Then he goes and takes a full 3 minutes to decide or write out everything he's writing and thinking about, which also was kind of like a red flag in my opinion. Then everybody else was all happy to go in and jump in there. I love that they don't show the timer if you're supposed to stay in there for 3 minutes or if you can just write or not write anything and step out within the 5 seconds, you know? So, uh, with everybody going blank and the guy with the glasses going first and writing what it is he wrote, that he's the one who did this, it definitely has some more explaining to do for the side of the guy who wanted them to write it all, not to mention having them all stay blank at the end of the day. But I think that is just another good notion on how quickly the tides can turn in this anime with one person paying so much attention to the small details compared to everybody else because they're in the heat of the moment. So I'm super curious in this show. It's gotten a bad rap for quite some time, and I'm here to tell you it's not nearly as bad as some people are going to give it. I do think it needs more people to be a little bit more interesting. Like, after giving away the person that put them in this game, what is it that's truly dangerous about being a part of this? We've seen little clips of stuff in the opener that looks like more characters exist that could be added to their group or their group go against them. So overall, I'm curious to see where this is headed. I hope y'all have an amazing one. Thank you all for the support. I can't believe how many subscribers I've gotten and how many views we be getting, but regardless, y'all show up. And even if you don't show up, I don't like some you aren't all watching all the anime I'm watching. Okay? So I don't expect y'all to be watching excited about everything I'm excited about. So regardless of what you are excited about or what you do support me for, thank you tremendously, and I hope you have a good one. I'll talk to you in the next one. Peace out, my anime people. Let's get this area real quick. Okay.